भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। राम कृष्ण हरे मुकुंद मुरारी। राम कृष्ण हरे मुकुंद मुरारी। पांडुरंग 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 हरे। पांडुरंग 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 हरे। राम कृष्ण हरे मुकुंद मुरारी। राम कृष्ण हरे मुकुंद मुरारी। पांडुरंग 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 हरे। पांडुरंग 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 हरे। पांडुरंग हरि बोलो पांडुरंग हरि। 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 पांडुरंग 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 हरि। पांडुरंग पांडुरंग हरि। विठ्ठल विठ्ठल विठ्ठला हरि ओम विठ्ठला। 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 पांडुरंग 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 हरि। पांडुरंग 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 हरि। राम कृष्ण हरि मुकुंद मुरारी। राम कृष्ण हरि मुकुंद मुरारी। पांडुरंग 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 हरि।
अपवित्र पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थांगतोऽपि वा यत्स्मरे पुण्डरीकाक्षम् स बाह्याभ्यन्तर शुचिः। Jai Gurudev. Hari Anant, Hari Katha Ananta. He is limitless. How can his stories, his description have any boundaries? Whenever I get this divine opportunity to be with the Bhagavatam, share the glories of the divine, I feel so humble, so blessed. His presence in those moments is very special. And our prayer is, my prayer at this moment is that I am able to share this beautiful journey without any boundaries. So today I want all of us to take a trip with me. We all of us are ready to leave our home, our family, ourselves, and take a celestial journey. Don't worry, we'll all come back. We'll all come back. But for some time, let's just go and take a nice darshan and glimpse of the Vaikuntha Dham, where our Vittala, permanent abode of our Vittala. You know, the Vaikuntha word is very beautiful. Where there is no kuntha, it is difficult to exactly give an English name to this kuntha. We can say a place, a space where there is no sorrow, no lack, nothing to look forward to, not in that way which brings depression in our lives, no? In our worldly life, if we say, oh, there's nothing to look up to now. There's nothing that I have to look forward to when I wake up in the morning. Not that. The pain of waiting for worldly things has suddenly gone out of lives. And every moment becomes eternal, deep, fulfilling. So fulfilling that one moment is sufficient. One glimpse of the divine is sufficient. One moment of divine fervor is enough. One who tastes the divine bliss, nothing else can satisfy such a person. That person does not seek anything. He has already, she has already got abundance, abundance of fulfillment, love, joy. Such is Vaikuntha Dham. Such is the nature of Vaikuntha Dham. It is also said that in Vishnu's loka, only Vishnu can reside. For Vishnu, it is also said that only Vishnu can worship Vishnu. We all feel we worship the Lord. But what is real worship? Real worship is when you feel there is no two. You are totally one with the Lord. That is the only possibility for us to live without kuntha. That is the Vaikuntha. That is why Vishnu alone can pray to Vishnu. Vishnu alone can reside and repose in the Vaikuntha Dham. Those who live along with the Lord, as the scriptures say, have all become like him. They are totally blessed. Purest of the pure reside there with the Lord. And the beauty of the Vaikuntha Dham, I'm short of words to describe it. We can just close our eyes and experience the divine is Sundar. One name for the divinity is Sundar. Sundar means beautiful. Vaikuntha Dham is as beautiful as the Lord. So one day, our Sanakadi rishis, I spoke about them yesterday, how they look like 5-year-old children, but they are the oldest beings and always surrendered to the Lord. Hari Sharanam. One day they chose to visit, like we are wanting to visit the Vaikuntha Dham. They reached the Vaikuntha Dham also. They had the entitlement. They were so pure. So they reached the Vaikuntha Dham. They say there are 7 doorways, 7 passages which lead to the ultimate place where by our Vithala resides. So each place, each doorway was so attractive, so beautiful, so luxurious. But the rishis did not even look at anything. They just kept walking like an arrow. They just crossed 1, 2, 3, 6 passages they crossed, and they reached the 7th, the ultimate place. They were dying to get the darshan of the Lord. They said, all this time we have been praying to him, we have been meditating upon him, we have surrendered our being to him, and today we are going to get his darshan. So we can imagine, what they were feeling, how impatient they were. They were not impatient to achieve anything in the world. They were very impatient when it came to the darshan of the Lord. And there, on that door, 2 dwarpals, the door security men of the Lord, they were standing there. We call them Dandi and Mundi. We have experienced such security men of our Lord. And so Jay and Vijay, 2 young boys, very good looking, handsome boys, and very naughty, very mischievous, just like their master, I think. So they were standing there, and when these 4 boys, 5-year-old looking 4 boys without any clothes, were just entering without asking anybody's permission, so they started laughing at them. Who are these naked boys? Look at them, how they are looking. So young Jay and Vijay had that temperament. So they took a stick, the rod that they were holding in their hand, and they put it in the way of the 4 rishis. Hey, where are you going? Stop. You can't enter. So Sanakadi Rishi said, but we have never faced any obstacles on our path. And this is Vishnu Loka. This is the Vaikuntha Dham, where only Vishnu can be there. Only one who is totally one with the Lord can enter this space. But you are seeing two. You are standing at the last door, just very close to him, and yet you have duality in your vision. You see anyone who is not the Lord, that means you're still not pure. There is still an iota of duality left in your vision that you could stop us. And you have become very arrogant. The power that has been given to you to be guarding the Lord's door has gone to your head. And that is why your vision is also clouded, and we are going to curse you. You need to go back to where they want to go, be sent back, where we all are. Mrityulok. They said, you have to go back to Mrityulok. You have to experience all the difficulties that everybody has to go through. The jealousy, the fear, the pain, the lack, the sorrows, the insults. Whole time, or when you are in this Mrityulok, you will experience all this anguish because you don't deserve to be in the Vaikuntha Dham. Your entitlement to stay in a place where there is no kuntha, no sorrow, no lack, nothing negative, you have given up that entitlement by your arrogance and lack of perception of the truth. First thing that gets clouded, when the mind starts seeing that I am this, I am that, the perception gets clouded. So that's what happened to Jay and Vijay, standing right at the door of the Lord. They needed to be cursed. And what was happening behind this door is what we have to all get connected to. We only see what's happening outside the door of the Lord, and we get entangled by these happenings. If we meditate, if there is silence in our hearts and mind, we will be able to catch what the master is doing behind the door. How he is correcting all of us, improving all of us so that we can all evolve. The rishis had to evolve, Jay and Vijay also had to evolve. Master had created this whole drama outside, where Jay and Vijay behaved like this, and Sanakadik Rishi, who were so peaceful, only surrendered to the Lord. If they are only surrendered to the Lord, then why they could not accept this moment? They got angry, they got upset, they started to curse the Lord's doormen. What was their authority in Vaikuntha Dham to punish anyone? They lost sight of all that. Not only Jay and Vijay, the rishis also lost sight. And it was all happening because the Lord wanted this happening in this way. Then the Lord came out with Lakshmi Ji, and the moment the rishis saw the Lord, the darshans that they were seeking, their desire was fulfilled. They forgot what happened just now, that they have cursed Jay and Vijay. They just started praising and singing the Lord's glory. And then the Lord said, but forgive me, my two boys have insulted you. The Brahmins, the saints, I respect them. I look for the dust of their feet to bless me. Today, my glory is because you people have sung my glories. You're very dear to me. Nobody can get away by insulting the Brahmins, the saints. Such a one is always punished. And I'm glad you have punished these boys. They needed to be given a lesson. And then he told Jay and Vijay, once when Lakshmi Ji wanted to enter my room, You stopped Lakshmi ji to come near me. And she had also cursed you for your arrogance. So now the rishis realized what they had done. So they started asking for the forgiveness. Please forgive us. We had no business to get angry when we were coming to take your darshans. We are in your loka. We are just visitors. You have decided who will be where, placed where. You have to decide what you want to do with these Jay and Vijay. If you want to promote them, please promote them. We have nothing against us. Against these boys, after getting your darshan, we are so fulfilled. But we are realizing that we crossed our own boundary. Standing right outside your door, we got anger. We experienced anger. We cursed these boys. Please punish us. Don't punish the boys. We are the ones who need to be punished. The Lord is smiling because he has some other plans which nobody knows, no? His plans we don't know. So we are only experiencing whatever is all the drama that happens outside the door. So that is why it is so challenging to be in that mandala of knowledge and truth. So the Lord says, no, it is time for these boys to go to the Mrityu Lok, but give them some forgiveness. Bless them that they can come back very quickly to me. Now here comes the love of the divine, like a mother cannot stay away from the children for very long. Jay and Vijay are very dear to him, very dear. Even he can have some few, very few pampered children. So we have to honor this. God can also have some pampered devotees and children. Jay and Vijay are like that. So he says, you go to the Mrityu Lok. The rishis also blessed the boys. You will come back very quickly in 3 lifetimes. But 3 lifetimes can only happen if you agree to have a lot of hatred for the Lord. You do everything which the Lord doesn't want people to do on the earth. Asura. You have to agree to become Rakshas, Asura. Very negative. Extreme negativity you'll have to embrace. And you will become notorious in the whole universe, will cry at your cruelty. You will be so against, you will have so much aversion to the Lord's name when you will have these lifetimes. But only then it will happen very quickly for you. Because when we have aversion to somebody, our aversion is very strong. When we desire something, the energy is not so much in that. But when there is aversion, hatred, then we are consumed with that person. So to be consumed with the Lord, they embraced hatred for God. They said, we want to come back as fast as we can, back to our master. We will take this notorious existence. We will embrace this negativity, this cruelty, all the cruel actions that we can't even imagine. All the path, the sins. We will take all the sins, but we want to run back to the Vaikuntha Dham. So they agreed. And the Lord, these 3 lifetimes. First, they were born as Hiranyakashyap and Hiranyaksh through the womb of Diti and Kashyap. There are many personalities that we are going to talk about, born out of Kashyap Rishi. Kashyap Rishi is married to Diti and Aditi. Through Aditi, he gives birth to the Devatas, and through Diti, he gives birth to Asuras. Very interesting. All is one before the Lord. There is nothing outside the Lord. Nothing is outside the divinity, whether it is Satan or it is the purest of the pure beings. So when they were born as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, the Lord took the avatar of Vara avatar, the boar, the wild boar, and he fought with Hiranyaksha, killed Hiranyaksha, and uplifted the earth. Whenever God is acting, too many results have to come up. No? In Hindi, we say, Ek panth do kaj. But God, he does one thing and so many things have to be sorted out. At so many levels, we will not be able to understand. So many levels. So Diti, who conceived Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha through Kashyap Rishi, conceived these boys at a very wrong moment of time, the dusk time, when it is time to meditate and pray to the Lord. But Diti, with the inspiration of the divine, is in the grips of passion, Kama. The Kamadev came and hit her, and she begged to have a physical intimacy with her husband. The Rishi knew that it is the wrong time, but Diti would not take no for an answer. So as a gentleman, he agreed to Diti's overtures to him. And then these two were conceived. So she was very scared. After the deed is done, she was very scared. What happened? I don't know. She's the wife of a rishi. She's a tapaswini herself, but she didn't know what happened to her. She says, please forgive me. What will happen? What will be the nature of these children who are going to be born out of this? So the rishi says, you would not listen to me. Two very big Rakshasas are going to be born, and they will be committing so much cruelty on this earth. People are not going to be in peace from now onwards. Once they come, once they take birth, and you will be their mother. So Diti says, what can I do? Please do something. So he says, I can see that they will be killed at the hands of the Lord. Only one mitigating thing I see here, that at the end of whatever they have to do, they will be killed at the hands of the Lord. So Diti says, if that is their fate, then I welcome these boys. What more can a person want that you are dying at the hands of the Lord? And Kashyap Rishi says, one of the grandsons, one of these boys, his son, will be the most ardent devotee of the Lord. So much so that he will be named as a devotee. Here we are talking about Bhakti Prahlad. He was the son of Hiranyakashipu. He was only called Bhakti Prahlad. Nobody calls him Prahlad. We always talk about him as Bhakti Prahlad. He belonged to the Asura family, but even the Devatas during their get-togethers would talk about his devotion, would take inspiration from the devotion. And Prahlad was just a 6 or 7-year-old boy. So the Lord takes avatar as the boar to kill Hiranyaksha, as Narasimha to kill Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu has done a lot of penance, and Brahmaji blessed him. And he said, bless me that no being of this planet kills me. I do not die on earth. I do not die in water. So, like this, various boons he asked for cleverly so that he can become immortal. Brahmaji said, okay, tathastu. But the Lord knows how to get his boys back to Vaikuntha. So the Lord came as Narasimha. Narasimha, his face was of a lion and the body was of a man. Narasimha. He put him on his lap, Hiranyakashipu. And he had asked for a boon, no weapon should be able to kill me. So with his nails, this Narasimha avatar of the Lord kills. In detail, if we find the time and the opportunity, we may go through this episode. But here I'm just seeing what has happened behind the doors of the Lord and how he acts. How we say Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyakashipu are the worst. We see life always in duality: good, bad, pleasant, unpleasant, pure, impure, sin, good action, bad action. And we have aversion towards these people. We build aversions in ourselves. We create a duality. But for the Lord, Hiranyakashipu was very dear to him. And all this was happening because the God had willed it. So many times Guruji has also said that if the wrongdoers are not there, how will we understand right from wrong? They have a role. They have a place in the scheme of this worldly life that God has given us. It's a very delivering message where you just transcend your own judgments, your own concepts of right and wrong. And just like the rishis in the Vaikuntha Dham, stop before passing the judgment. Stop before passing strictures, giving punishment, giving curses. Just like the Vaikuntha Dham, this whole world is God's abode. None of us are outside him. Those who are good will go to God. Those who are bad will also go to God. In the second life of Jay and Vijay, they are born as Ravan and Kumbhakaran, and the Lord took Ram avatar. We all know how many reasons were there for Ram Ji to come. How many things were done during that time. And most important, today also, Ram Bhakti is delivering all of us. His name is delivering all of us. His devotees can deliver us. Hanuman Ji, all powerful. He became as powerful as the Lord himself. So the Rama Leela happened to get back Jay and Vijay as Ravan and Kumbhakaran. So even when Ravan was born, even the Brahmins, nobody could have a sigh of relief. Nobody could breathe peacefully in that realm when Ravan was committing his atrocities after atrocities. He hated Sri Ram. His whole life was consumed with anger and hatred for Sri Ram. To win back Sita, the drama happened, and Ramji came and took back Ravan and Kumbhakaran. That is why Ramji asked Lakshmanji to go and sit at the feet of Ravan to get some knowledge from Ravan. We can say, who can teach Lakshmanji? And that too, Ravan, out of all the people. This is the way our mind is working. So it's a very beautiful backdrop where we can just try to go close to the Lord's will. The highest prayer is, your will should become my wish. That is why. And in the third lifetime, Shishupal and Dantavakra. And Bhagwan came as Krishna. Krishna. To fill us all with devotion first. To steal our minds. Navanita Chora, Krishna. And we all know the story of Lord Krishna's life. How Dantavakra and Shishupal were killed by him. And they immediately became a light and merged into the Lord. So that is why this question is asked. How can these impure beings, how can these cruelest of the cruel, asuras, get this end of life? You know, it is important to be born in a nice way. It is more important to live your life in a nice way. And most important is how we leave this planet. So fortunate were they, despite all their actions here, that they were killed at the hands of the Lord, and the Lord just absorbed them in him. They were part of his light only. They were lit out of that light. There is no one. We come back to that silent spot within all of us where we can only see one. There is no two. These stories, if they do not bring us back to this silence, this utter surrender to the Lord's doings, without an iota of like and dislike. He wants to kill all this. He wants to burn this seed in us. This seed. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is not good. Oh, this is bad. So we just saw this beautiful glimpse of the Vaikuntha Dham and how the Lord takes these forms from time to time. Many other avatars are there. He took the avatar of Kapil Bhagwan, to give the knowledge, Sankhya, Yoga, how to unite with the Lord through all the disparities, through all the different aspects that we see in the worldly realm, through all the different elements, how to go and achieve the Lord through yoga, through the path of knowledge. Beautiful knowledge Kapil Bhagwan shared with Devahooti. He came up as Sanakadik Rishis also. They are his avatar only. He came up as Nar and Narayan to teach the lessons of penance. What is penance? They did extreme penance in Badrika Dham, Nar and Narayan. Many such avatars have taken place. As I said, he came as a fish, the Matsya avatar, when the whole world was to merge into pralay. He comes as a boat. In that darkness, where there is no light, you cannot see anything in the dark waters of pralay. He came as a boat, took with him the Saptarishis, all the herbs, the knowledge, and took them on this boat with him. And throughout that period, throughout that time, it's a very beautiful avatar of God, where there is a dialogue between him and Satyavrat. one Brahmin, who becomes the Manu in the next lifetime, next cycle. And he shares the whole knowledge of this universe, divinity, the truth with Satyavrat during this period, so that he can become the next ruler to rule on the earth. God's ways are unknown. His glory cannot be expressed in words. But if you get goose pimples while listening to these stories, somewhere you are getting the feel of his presence. So there is time today for us to go to Bhakta Prahlad. Why I choose this story today? As I said, there are stories of the avatars and there are stories of the devotees, equally important. So Hiranyakashipu had 4 sons. One of them was Bhakta Prahlad. He was just a 6-7-year-old boy, and he was sent to the Gurukul. The very interesting, the Devatas also have Guru, Asuras also have the Guru. Without the Guru, no progress is possible. So their Guru is Shukracharya and the Devata's Guru is Brihaspati. So Shukracharya's 2 sons were teaching in this Gurukul near the place where Hiranyakashipu resided. So Prahlad is sent there to get educated. After some time, he visits the house. And Hiranyakashipu is very fond of Prahlad. He's his favorite boy. So he calls him, puts him on his lap and asks him, "What did you learn in school? Tell me." He said, "I learned that people are just seeking things in this world, doing the same things again and again, but nobody is worshipping the Lord, the Narayan Bhagwan, the Vishnu Bhagwan. If they worshipped Vishnu, they would have no problems." So Hiranyakashipu said, "But Vishnu is our enemy. You can't talk like that about Vishnu. Who has been teaching you all this?" So he felt maybe in the ashram, some spy is there from the Devatas who's trying to undermine our authority. So he reprimanded these teachers and said, "Take him back. See that he doesn't learn any of this nonsense that he's talking about." So they took him back and they asked him, "Who taught you all this?" They were very surprised. So he said, "Nobody taught me." They again tried to give him. The learning of the Asuras is very different from the learning which the Devatas get from their gurus. In Asuras, the learning is how to win over others, how to compete with others, how to become so capable yourself. The whole emphasis, the focus of the learning is you, me and you, separateness, duality. So after some time, once again, Prahlad visited the father and father thought he must have forgotten all that. Young children sometimes come up with nonsense. So he said, "Come on now, tell me, what did the teachers teach you?" He said, "I don't know about what teachers taught me. I learned all that, but I have learned something, that there are no 9 ways of doing bhakti to the Lord." So he spoke to the father about 9 aspects of bhakti, Navada Bhakti. You pray to him, you become his servant, you do his upasana, you do his seva, you see him as you become one with him, you totally surrender to the Lord, you offer your whole being to the Lord. This is the way to get close to the Lord. And this is what we all need to learn. So he brought him down from his lap and said, "You need to be punished." And he started screaming at the teachers, Who's doing this nonsense behind my back? Now I'm going to punish this boy. So the teachers really got very scared and said, we will teach him now. We will tell him not to behave like this, not to talk like this. Please don't worry. But Hiranyakashipu is very worried now. Something is wrong somewhere. Because when he used to see this boy in front of him, a 6-year-old boy, he's not scared of his father. He loves his father. He's very, very respectful to the father, although the father has been abusing him in front of everybody. But he doesn't change his, nothing affects him. So somewhere Hiranyakashipu is experiencing his own powerlessness in front of this small Vishnu Bhakta devotee. So he sends him back, and the teachers say, we are going to punish you now. We are going to beat you with a stick. If you ever misbehave again, learn the lessons that you are being taught. Tell us tomorrow. But the teachers had to go for some work, and nobody was there that day in the ashram. So Prahlad Ji, what did he do? He collected all the young boys of his age and said, come sit with me. Stop playing for some time. Don't play this in the field. Come and sit with me. They all liked Prahlad. It is not possible not to like a devotee. So they all came and collected around Prahlad, and Prahlad said, you know what the teachers are teaching you? But I will tell you, it is so much more important to learn how to worship the Lord, because our life is so fragile. We don't know how many years we are all going to live. And even if we live for a very long time, our childhood will just go in playing and learning at the school, then we'll become young, we'll become married, we'll have so many household duties, we may fall ill at some point of time, then we will lose all the opportunity to worship the Lord, to meditate upon the Lord. So according to me, right now, when we are so young, we should start worshiping the Lord. This is the time when we are just 6, 7 year old. We are so innocent. It will be so easy for us to go close to the Lord. And it is very easy to worship him. He said, people are seeking, our teachers are also teaching us how to win this and that in the world. But all that is already settled by God for us. God is so intelligent. He has already decided what all of us are going to get in this world. So don't worry about all that. Don't put your energy there. You just drop everything, close your eyes and think about him. Pray to him, worship him. And it is very easy to please him. Very easy to worship God. Because God is not outside us, Prahlad says. Now, these are the teachings coming from a 6-year-old boy. They are very close to my heart because they are so simple, so innocent. If we can't absorb these teachings in our lives, simple teachings, he's saying. He said, don't wait. We don't know when, till when are we alive? Till when our body can listen, speak, see, experience the divine. Our mind, all these faculties we have today, we don't know about tomorrow. So let's catch the moment. Let's worship him right now. And he's in the heart. We don't have to go far. We don't have to climb mountains. We don't have to do too much penance. No effort. Effortlessly we can go close to him. He's our own Atma. He's our soul. Through him only we see everything. Through him only we experience everything. He is the closest to us. But all that we have to do, one thing he said, one thing we all have to do, we have to give up our asuri tendencies, negative tendencies of anger, jealousy, seeing differences amongst ourselves. We are all one. There is no difference. There is no need to beat or win over the other. What will we get? We are all one. Don't put your energy there. And give up your negativity. And just after you have given up, all your negativity of jealousy, anger, extreme comparing with each other. That's what children do, but that's what we all also do, not just small children in school. We continue to do all this. So he said, after you have given up your asuri tendencies, just be kind. Just help each other. In the asuri teaching, there is no room for helping each other. There is the survival of the fittest. So they teach you how to become more fit, more strong. Nobody says, just help each other. So he says, he gave an absolute opposite teaching to them. He said, just help each other. Just be kind to each other. Lord will be happy. When you are kind to each other, when you see all as yourself only, that makes him happy, so happy. Nothing else can make him more happy than a person who's kind-hearted, who's very helpful. Such simple teachings. Make an effort to drop the negativity and walk on the path of kindness, friendship. Just be friendly to everyone. Don't get jealous of others. Don't get angry with people who are more than you in any way. Make them your friend. Then you will enjoy their achievements. You will feel your achievement. All these things are keeping us away from our own bliss, Prahlad said. Lord is nothing but bliss, pure joy. We will experience the Lord so effortlessly when we just practice this little friendliness, kindness. So now what happened after this dialogue? And Bhakta Prahlad said, what I'm sharing with you, it's a very precious knowledge. Don't take it lightly. We should also not take it lightly. That is just a 6-year-old boy, Asura boy, sharing simplest things like being kind to each other, being friendly with each other. We need to know more, more difficult things to do. Knowledge is all about very, very challenging things. So we should also not get deceived here. God is very simple. God is very natural. More natural and spontaneous we can be, easier it will be for us. Like Prahlad is doing. He said, this is a very precious knowledge. I learned this knowledge from a very high level saint. His name is Narad Rishi, our favorite Narad Ji. So the boy said, but you are just 6-year-old and you are all the time living here, coming to this ashram. We have seen you always. When did you meet Narad Rishi? How could Narad Rishi have come here? So he said, no, when I was in my mother's womb. At that time, the Devatas had fought us and we had become powerless. My father was away doing penance. And the Devatas had come and Indra Devata was dragging my mother from our palace into the jungles. Through the jungles, we were walking away and my mother was pregnant with me. That time Naradji came and stopped Indra and said, stop, leave this lady alone. It doesn't behove you, you're Indra, the king of heaven, the Devata, that you are behaving so unkindly to a pregnant woman. So he said, no, she is pregnant with my enemy. I will keep her with me, and once she gives birth to this child, I will kill that child. I have killed all the asuras. I don't want to leave this one seed behind so that my victory is complete. So Naradji scolded Indra. He said, He is not your enemy. He is the foremost devotee of our Lord. Param Bhakta is in this lady's womb. Leave this lady. Indra immediately agreed. This is the difference here between a Devata Purush and an Asura Yoni. Asura would have not agreed, would have stuck to his negativity. Indra immediately bowed down, took a pradakshina, went around uh, Praladji's mother with his hands folded because she was carrying in her womb a devotee of the Lord, and then left. After that, Praladji says, my mother stayed with Naradji in his ashram. And Naradji gave all the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam, all the stories of divine incarnations to my mother. And while he used to talk to her, his eyes would be looking to me. He was actually talking to me. And my mother, over the years, has forgotten all the learning. She's a lady, she has so many responsibilities, she's a worldly woman, so she forgot after the passage of time. But I never forgot. A devotee's first sign, one simple learning also. They embrace the learning, they hold on to the learning, they don't deviate from the learning. So he says, I have not forgotten the learning. That is why I am telling you, it's very precious knowledge and you must value this knowledge. So the children now became Vishnu Bhakt in the ashram. Teacher came back and saw this transformation and he went running to Hiranyakashipu and said, now it's beyond me. The whole school is worshipping Vishnu. So Prahlad was ready for a very big punishment from his father. So the father called him and he said, I'm going to kill this boy. He is an enemy of my whole family, our clan. So he tried many ways. We know of so many such stories where he was tried to be burnt, to be mauled by the elephants. He was given poison. He was put in Holika's lap and burnt alive, but nothing touched Prahlad. He was untouched. He was totally protected by the Lord. And Hiranyakashipu could not understand. There was no sign of fear on this boy. And no disrespect also towards the father. Father is father. He had the capacity to still respect his father, to still love his father, despite the father's obnoxious behavior. A very, very divine quality of a devotee. He doesn't see anybody. There's nobody harming us. Whatever is coming to us is coming straight from the Lord. That is a devotee's vision. So Bhakta Prahlad was unruffled. And Hiranyakashipu asks him, you are so strong, you think you're protected by him, this Vishnu? Now I am going to take this sword and come and kill you with my own hand. Nobody on this earth is more powerful than me today. And I will kill you with my own hands and I will see whether this Vishnu can come and protect you. Because you are saying he's everywhere. Because he asked him, where is Vishnu? He said, Father, he's everywhere. He's in everything. That's why I'm always protected. So he says in this pillar, there was a pillar there. Is your God in this pillar? So Bhakta Prahlad with a lot of confidence said, yes, he's there. So he said, first I will smash this pillar. So he took a sword and started smashing the pillar. And out of the pillar, Narasimha Bhagwan comes in a very, very atrocious looking form of lion's face and human body. And we know this story, we have heard this story before also, how Narasimha then killed Hiranyakashipu. gave him deliverance. But the Lord had to embrace a lot of anger at that moment to vanquish Hiranyakashipu. All these qualities are part of the divine plan. So from time to time, God can also embrace no. So he embraced anger so that he can do this. Such is his devotion for the devotee. Such is his promise to the devotee. He can take any form to help his devotee. He can embrace anything to help the devotee. So with lot of anger, he had killed Hiranyakashipu. Now God, when he gets angry, it takes time for the anger to go. Because whatever comes near God becomes very enlarged. That is why they say, no, in the tirthas, in the holy places, never think badly about somebody. Think only good things. Bless people. Forgive people. Because whatever we experience, whatever we feel becomes very strong. So the God's anger is not going, and everybody comes and worships Brahma Ji, Mahadev, all the rishis, everybody. They came and they prayed to the Lord and said, come back in your very gentle, smiling form, your Chaturbhuj Roop, which we all love. We are getting scared when we see you in this form, my Lord. You are so glorious, but please come back in that form. But the Lord is standing there in that Narasimha form. Then Brahmaji tells Lakshmi Ji, you go, maybe he'll listen to you. Lakshmi Ji from far only said, no way, I'm not going near this angry form of my Lord. So then Brahmaji, Narad Ji said to Prahlad, okay, for your sake, God has taken this form to kill your father. Now you only go and pray to him. Maybe he will listen to you. He's not listening to anyone. So Bhakta Prahlad is not scared. He goes, sits right near the feet of Narasimha, touches his feet. So Narasimha looks at Prahlad and puts his hand on his head with a lot of love, lot of mamta, devotion, love. And Bhakta Prahlad did a beautiful stuti to the Lord. He said, so many Brahmaji, Mahadevji have done your stuti. I'm small, Asura child. I don't know. I have no learning, but I will pray to you. I will also do your stuti. And then he said, now you give up your anger, my Lord. My father is dead. He's vanquished by you. Please give up your anger. And the moment he touched Prahlad, his anger had gone. The Lord's anger had gone. So he said, I'm very happy with your devotion. Ask any boon from me, my child. So Prahlad said, all my life, I have been looking for this and that in this world. Today, with great difficulty, I have become your devotee. I just want to love you. I just want to come close to you. Please do not tempt me with worldly gifts and presents. I don't want anything. So just give me this one boon, that I should never have any attachment in me to this world. Because attachment is, it brings us down like nothing else. Just bless me that never I feel attached to anything, anybody. So the God blessed him. And then suddenly he remembered. He said, please give me one more blessing. So God said, okay, what do you want? He said, forgive my father. My father was so removed from you that he saw only himself. He did not see you. All his achievements, all his power, all his capacity, all his strength, he saw he had gained on his own merit. He was always looking away from you. And I'm very worried about him. What will be his forward journey now? If you will forgive him and bless him, then there is nothing to worry for his onward journey in the other lokas. So what did God say? God said he's already forgiven 21 generations in your clan are blessed because they have a boy like you. They have a devotee like you. Your 21 generations have become pure. Guru Nanak Dev Ji also says that in one clan, if there is one devotee, one bhakt of the Bhagwan, he can take away the sins of his ancestors and the coming generations. Such is the power of devotion. So this is the beautiful, most beautiful story of devotion, learning from the Bhagavatam. It's very close to my heart. I just always want to remember this simple voice, simple learnings. And then before leaving, God said to Prahlad, due to my wish now, for thousands of years, you rule this kingdom, be here. So coming back to the vastness of Bhagavatam, whatever we hear, whatever we speak is nothing but just a drop. But let that drop become part of our being, percolate in our whole being. So maybe we complete today's session with one bhajan. Yes.
Govinda Hare Bhaj Gopal Hare Govinda Hare Bhaj Gopal Hare हे प्रभु दीन दयाल हरे हे प्रभु दीन दयाल हरे गोविंद हरे भज गोपाल हरे गोविंद हरे गोपाल